Welcome back to the Panthers.com video mailbag presented by CEENTA. Staff writer Max Henson here answering your questions as Carolina gets ready for another road trip, this time to Detroit to take on the Lions. First question, how much of our poor performance against the Steelers can we attribute to it being a Thursday night game? Well, it certainly didn't help. Short week, having to go on the road to face the Steelers. Not an ideal situation going against that really good Pittsburgh team. But although that's a really good excuse, the Panthers aren't going to use it. We got to call this how we see it. We got to tell it like it is. Panthers were soundly beaten in every aspect by a Pittsburgh Steelers team that was just much better on that day. And you got to give them credit for that. Carolina looked really good in that first drive, right? 7-0 lead. Christian McCaffrey finding the end zone, so clearly they were there and ready to play and got things going exactly how they wanted to, but the wheels kind of fell off from there. And again, I think you got to credit Pittsburgh for executing their plan at a really, really high level. And like I said, the Panthers have to call this one how it was. They just did not play well enough to compete in that game, and certainly some lessons to be learned from that defeat moving forward. Next question, what do you think Washington Rivera are referring to when they say guys are trying to do too much on defense? I think what they're referring to there is at times when things are not going well on the defensive side, guys maybe getting a little bit outside of their assignment, their responsibility to try to make plays that aren't there for them to be made. And that's natural. In this game of football, you see that from time to time where you kind of want to stop the bleeding, you want to make a play so badly on the defensive side, and you kind of do a little too much. And that can really be costly to a defense who is so important to have that assignment sound. Everybody's got to do their 111th, as they like to say around here. So that's kind of what those coaches are referring to, and certainly from their point of view, Panthers hope to be much more gap sound and assignment sound against Detroit on Sunday. Next question, why are we giving CMC so many snaps? I mean, he's a great player, but we need him fresh going into our playoff push. Is there any chance Artis Payne gets some touches this week? So this has been a very popular discussion point. Christian McCaffrey is playing 96% of the offensive snaps this season. That's #1 in the NFL among running backs. He's being used a lot, and there's no denying that. But I do think you have to look at the nature of his touches. First of all, he's only touching the ball just under 20 times a game. So while he's out there as much as he is used as a decoy quite often, and that's a valuable part of this offense. But they're getting him the ball on the edges. He's really good about trying to find a soft spot, not take too much punishment. And look, he takes care of his body as well as anybody on this team. So he's built to handle this kind of workload. The Panthers don't see it as a concern. And look, this is a credit to Christian. He's earned these opportunities. They need him out there for this offense to be as good as it can be. As for Artis Payne, he's the backup running back now with C.J. Anderson having departed. I don't know if we're going to see that much of Artis Payne because, look, we didn't see very much of C.J. Anderson before he left. So maybe there's a snap or two in there for him against Detroit, but that remains to be seen. And our last question this week, why is pizza round, cut into triangles, and put into a square box? Look, there are some things you can question, and look, we've gone through some good questions already this week, but pizza is not one of them. Thanks for the questions this week, everybody. We'll do it again next time right here on Panthers.com.